The following episode of Geek-men is brought to you by our sponsors, Super 7 and Bulk Dominoes. Use code Masters of the Thunder Nerds at checkout. And also, the Madness Entertainment Network. Welcome to the madness. All right, how's it going, everybody?
I'm
Good.
alive.
You're alive.
Most
Barely,
I
I
hope
think.
for anymore.
Right. The horrors persist, yet so do I, right?
Every day I just somehow wake up. I don't know how.
Oh, I thought you were going to say every day I'm shuffling, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, every day I'm shuffling.
You know, party rock a little too much.
Oh, yeah. So, just want to say best of luck to all of the Kickstarters that are working on funding, and there are 2 launch parties currently right now on the network that are launching their books and comics and magazines and what else have you. So yeah, good luck to them. And but if you chose to hang with us for the evening, well, welcome to the madness.
I feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, hey, it's a thing, right? I mean, something to watch. But anyway, so how's everybody doing? How you been? Have you watched anything new or anything exciting?
We actually blasted through some stuff. We ended up watching pretty much all of season 2 of Shrinking last week. That show's so good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's almost like another Ted Lasso, in my opinion. Only a hell of a lot funnier, in my opinion. Yeah.
Okay.
It's I really like it. Harrison Ford makes the show, like, in my opinion. Like, it's just a much different role than he's ever done. So so we blasted through that. We watched Bosch Legacy season 2. Now we're starting the last one, season 3. Which, like, for detective shows, Bosch on Amazon, Bosch and then Bosch Legacy are one of my favorites.
Okay.
Like, Titus Welliver's character is just amazing.
Okay.
Which he's usually like a side actor, like a side character actor.
Yeah.
He was in Sons of Anarchy, he was in just a ton of movies that he's been in. But yeah, in that show, he's the lead, and it's real good.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Other than that, I don't think much else.
Yeah. So we watched, what was it, Captain America, the new one?
Yeah.
Brave New World.
Yeah, Brave New World. Yeah, whatever it's called. And I was pleasantly surprised. It was somewhat entertaining. It wasn't like knock your socks off. I didn't leave the movie feeling how I felt excited after watching the Avengers, the first Avengers. Not talking about any of the other ones. When I left the theater after watching Avengers, I was so blown away. It was so exciting to me, and anyway, but it's all gone downhill from there. So,
oh yeah.
But I mean, so I got to reflecting. It's like, so that was pretty good. I've watched. I'm trying to think of some of the other movies that came out that are Marvel that I haven't watched yet. I know I definitely haven't watched any of, what is it? It's not Secret War. It's Secret Invasion or something with Sam Jackson. Haven't watched any of that. So, nor have I watched the Marvels or Miss Captain Marvel or whatever it is with Brie Larson. I never could get behind that character. She's so, I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah.
So
here's my advice.
So bad.
Don't watch them.
Right.
Like, don't be like, oh, this one was passable, so I'm going to go back and watch those because maybe they are. No, they're trash.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, because I have been feeling that way. It's like, oh, well, maybe I'll just go check it out just because. And I was contemplating watching, what was it, Ant-Man? Because I definitely Quantumania. I know I definitely haven't seen that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I won't watch Brave New World because I still like just Sam getting to be Captain America's bullshit. Like, dude, it should be Bucky.
Yeah, agreed. And so let me see if I still have it. Yeah, so here's a picture of Bucky as Captain America, and it's just like, that is so right to me. Like, that's how it should be.
Right.
It was just some fan posted it and was like, how did you feel about, Brave New World? Or should Bucky have got it? And I'm thinking, like, Bucky should totally have got it.
Yep. I've just never been a fan of, ever since Winter Soldier, the Falcon character. Like, it does nothing for me. He's like literally just got a jetpack on with these big ass stupid wings. Like, nope. At least like Angel and Archangel and X-Men, he's a mutant, so he has powers. No, in this, it's just nah. He's like keeping up with these people that can like destroy the entire Earth. Yeah, and he's got his little 2 automatic pistols flying around with this stupid ass jetpack.
He doesn't have the pistols anymore. It's just his wings and the shield, and it's like
dumb. Yeah, dumb.
Yeah, and
they should have left U.S. Agent as Captain America if they were just going to do this bullshit.
Yeah. Well, I watched that one because I'm really eager to see the Thunderbolts, because I'm kind of excited for that one. I can't wait until either my buddy gets it on the dark web or whatever you want to say, and or it comes to Disney Plus, because that is going to be exciting. Because I mean,
it sounds like it's pretty good.
Keeping up with Bucky, that's my main concern now. It's just like, let's just keep following Bucky. That's my goal. So
yeah, and you get Red Guardian in the movie as well.
Yeah. But I heard it's just, some people are trashing it, saying, "Oh, it's basically just Black Widow 2." And I'm thinking, like, okay.
Well, they're always going to make Yelena like the primary character, which, but
I don't know. I thought her character was interesting enough. But I don't know. Who knows? Like I said, I'm just eager to see it at some point. And what else? We watched our normal shows. We had several shows that ended, so we're so Tracker wrapped up its season 3, I think. Yeah, season 3. And then we had Will Trent and The Rookie. They both had season finales this week. So it's been an interesting week for TV.
Yeah, I finished The Bondsman on Amazon.
Yeah, that's one I'm wanting to start.
Yeah, it's kind of over the top, like kind of corny-ish, but it works. His ex-wife in it is the singer from Sugarland. So they layer, it's a country band. It's the one that was actually at the Indiana State Fair, and the stage like fell in a storm on top of people, and people got really jacked up. This was like 2012 or something.
Better late than never.
But she's the wife, so they integrate a lot of like country music singing into the storyline and into the show. So like, that's kind of corny, but I mean, Kevin Bacon's character is like a total, I don't know how to describe it. He's not a sleaze bag, but he's just doesn't do things. He's not very altruistic and shit. And he makes the show, in my opinion, but it's worth a watch. I think it's only like half-hour episodes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's that. I think all of our other shows, daytime shows, are wrapping up. So I was wanting to start that with Pumaira on before lunch because we get to watch a half-hour show before lunch. So before she takes off for work, I mean. So yeah. But what else? Oh, so to my mom, we caught up on Last of Us. So she's been wanting us to watch that, which Last of Us is a show that I'm honestly surprised she watched to begin with.
Right.
But she watched the first season and said it was okay. And she's watching this one still, and so she texts me after the episode, and she's just like, "Have you seen the latest Last of Us? I was screaming," and it's just like, so I said, "LOL." Like, does that mean you're gonna stop watching it? She's like, "Nope, still watching." It's like, okay, all right, nice.
Like, I can't even describe when the video game came out, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Just the sheer panic of having to deal with clickers, because in that game you don't get a lot of ammunition. And you have all these different guns with just like a few bullets. So like you can't take those things on. Like you have to sneak around, and like it was just like nerve-wracking going through areas with freaking clickers.
Have you played Splinter Cell?
I've played some of them in the past.
Yeah, so like I'm talking like the first one for like PlayStation 2. There's that you very much feel that like you could easily take down this entire compound, just take them out. But between ammo and the mission parameters of having to sneak around, it's just like, oh, that sucks. So I'm stuck on the game, and I got to a point where it's just like, you pretty much have to trigger this alarm in order to go through. There's no way around it. And then boom, all of a sudden, next thing I know, I have it saved to where it's like, you start the mission and then they're like, oh no, there's this person's dead or something. And they're like, sound the alarm. And then boom, that's the third alarm. And it's like, oh geez, crap. So I saved a point where I can't go back and start the mission over because it happened before that. So, but it still triggers. So it's like, oh crap. But yeah, those were fun games. But I imagine that you'd get that same feeling when you're worried about setting up alarms or worried about, this or
those
that.
Those little bastards hear you and it's all over. Like they're all over you. Jesus, I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, I don't know. I want to play those games, but I just never have.
Yeah, the games are really good. Like Last of Us 2 was. I don't know if they're PlayStation exclusives or not.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I think they are.
It might be one of the PlayStation exclusives.
I think they might have it for Switch. I'm not sure. I think I'd remember that. Maybe they ported it to Switch.
Let's see.
But oh yeah, we do have an internet.
I don't. My phone's being used.
Oh shit.
That's like how my dad used to say the word.
It's only PS5 and PC. Because they don't like Microsoft. Nobody really does. So
that sucks.
Now you're leaving.
Irks Burks. Nobody wants to play Irks Burks. Which is weird because it's on PC. So you can get it on Microsoft Game Pass. Yeah, right. But you can't get it on Xbox. I don't know. Seems stupid. Why wouldn't people... I get that they're trying to sell consoles.
Yeah.
But why the hell wouldn't people just put their game on every fucking platform possible? Like I get it's Sony Studio,
Yeah.
but from what I understand, they don't make as much money off a console. They make most of the money off game sales.
Right.
So why wouldn't you release your games everywhere?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's probably a whole economy behind the scenes that I've never understood, but
yeah,
it pisses me off that then it takes years to get some games on PC after they've come out on console or vice versa. And I'm just like, this is dumb.
Yeah, I hear that.
None of those games are Prison Architect, which is one of the greatest games ever created.
What was Prison Architect again? What was that?
It's like Sim City, but it's PC. But it's like Sim City, but you build a prison. Like you can do everything: minimum security, maximum, supermax, death row, all of it.
That'd be cool.
Like you get little death row guys, and it notifies you that they're ready to be put to death. So you have to lock down the prison and bring in the family and bring in the preacher. Dude, it's awesome.
Nice.
Oh wow, that sounds like a funny game.
Oh yeah, and they're getting ready to release the second one sometime this year, I'm pretty sure. And so it's going from like over the top view to like actual where you can go in 3D.
Oh, nice.
And like go through your prison in 3D. So I'm interested to see like how that changes it. But
yeah.
It's the company that makes its Paradox, which they make some of my other favorite games. A couple strategy games, Crusader Kings and Age of Wonders are like two of my favorite strategy games, and Paradox makes them as well.
Nice.
Prison Architect. If you got PC, it's like $10. Check it out.
Yeah. I don't have a PC. It bums me out because I can't play Magic the Gathering online, even though it's buggy and everyone's been saying, oh, this sucks. Wait for a different version. And then they give you a version, but it's completely like stripped down and is nowhere near as powerful as Magic the Gathering online. So it's like, okay, whatever.
So if I can get my D&D group together and we can play on a platform, a literal tabletop RPG, why can't they make a damn like a website you go to where you can have your damn camera like you do right here, and you can just find random people to play games of Magic the Gathering with?
Yeah, you can actually. But and it's sponsored by
here we go with the commercials again.
Wizards of the Coast. So
Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah. People who actually make Magic.
Sold everywhere.
What is it called? It's called,
I mean, they own D&D basically now. So
yeah, it's called Spell Table. And Roll20 is available.
That's what we play on our D&D on.
Yeah, we're playing Arkham Asylum on Thursdays on Roll20. So that's fun.
Dude, Roll20's got some cool shit. Like for D&D, like they do dynamic lighting. So like you make your map, and then like my character can only see on the map as far as it's allowed to see. So like if someone can only see 40 feet, they can only it's blacked out beyond 40 feet. But like the dwarf I used to play, I think he had 120 feet vision. So like I could see much further than everybody else.
Wow.
So like I would have to scout ahead, and like depending on where you're at on the map, like if there's a column, there's usually a shadow behind it. Like to me, it's such a good experience, like playing online, but it still doesn't beat like getting everybody over and smashing a bunch of beer and pizza and talking shit while you play D&D. Like that's still better, but
I would not know. But anyway. So yeah, we're having fun on Roll20 playing Arkham Horror. Yeah, Thursdays, come check it out. But yeah. Who's up? Who's up? Anyone? Anyone have anything else they want to talk about?
No.
Like that's
Just diving
everything
into
from me.
All right, so let's dive into the movies then. Which one do you want to talk about first? 13 Lives?
Yeah, let's do it. We'll save
Uprising
the fun
first.
conversation for the end.
So 13 Lives. You want to give a synopsis of it, one of you?
Yeah, so it's basically true story.
Mm-hmm.
Soccer team, basically they, after their game, go down into this damn cave to explore, and it starts raining and they get trapped in the cave. Way back in the cave, like how far?
I think it was 6 or 8 miles.
It was like incredibly far.
Yeah.
And as the cave filled up with water, obviously it traps them in there and it submerges complete sections of the tunnels and everything. And then at first they really didn't even know if they were still alive when they went in there looking for them.
Yeah.
And then they found them, which, I mean, finding them isn't the hard part of the story.
Yeah, which is surprising.
So there's a team of guys or two partners that basically go around and volunteer to like go in and dive in situations, like crazy ass situations like this, and with low visibility and just all the crazy currents and shit. And I mean, it's their specialty. And so that's Colin Farrell and Viggo Mortensen's characters. And so they go in with a group, they end up finding them, but they know they're not going to be able to extract them. Like it
right
is
away. Yeah.
I forget how many hours it took them to get from the beginning of the cave to the end of it.
Now, Pumara, you actually looked this up. What was it?
Yeah, I want to say it was about 3 miles or 3 hours one way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
and
6
then
hours to get out.
Yeah, because of whatnot they had to do.
And the last day it took about 8, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because the currents came back up
and they're trying to ferry all these people out. So basically they come up with a plan to get all of these people out because these guys are experienced divers.
Yeah.
None of these kids and the coach are. And so they got to come up with a way to get them out that's going to take, anywhere from probably 5 to 8 hours. So they employ the help of basically an anesthesiologist to come in, and they come up with a plan of putting all these people under anesthesia. Basically
they realized that because in the very first time they rescued someone, they were pulling him out and he freaked out and almost drowned right there.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just like, he didn't have the lung capacity, the training and all that other stuff. And he like freaked out right at the end and almost drowned as they were exiting the cave. It was wild. But yeah, so that's why they definitely had to make sure they had to stay under and not move at all. That was the only way out. Yeah.
And so basically they put all these people under and ferry them out, over the course of all like those hours. Yeah. And I mean, you think about, it's like, I remember hearing about this on TV, but not any of that stuff. It was like,
they didn't talk about
hey, they're in a cave. They're still in there. They're alive.
Yeah, I remember
they got them out.
They're alive. Yeah, and it's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
and then didn't hear anything about how they got them out. Just like, yep, that's the story. We're sticking to it. They're alive.
Like I was just in disbelief of the story throughout the entire movie.
Yeah,
like it just, I'm sitting there like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah,
like this is what they were up against,
Mm-hmm.
and then what they ended up having to do to get these kids out. Like, I mean, the story alone of the movie was worth watching it for a few hours. Like, I was blown away because I don't think it was ever put out there, like, what all these guys did and who they were, because they've worked on other big time, like, tragedies too, where they had to go in and dive. These same guys with the group that they work with, but I thought it was cool in the movie that it's a much different type of role for Colin Farrell and Viggo Mortensen than they usually play. Usually Viggo's in something where he's some kind of like tough guy, kind of badass, Aragorn, or God, I'm trying to think of, there's two other movies. One of them,
he was in, right.
But I can't remember the name of it.
It's a horse, Hidalgo.
Oh, I've never seen Hidalgo.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good one.
Yeah, this one had, oh shit, Ed, whatever his face is, older guy now.
Yeah.
This guy goes to this town, is like in hiding, Viggo Mortensen's character, and God, I can't remember his name. Ed something. He's
Ed
super
Harris?
pop. Ed Harris, yeah.
Yeah.
He goes there, I guess, and is tracking him down. And there's a scene where they're in a diner, and I think Viggo Mortensen smashes him with a coffee pot, or smashes somebody with a coffee pot. And that was like in the preview. But I just remember watching the movie, and it was the weirdest. There were some really weird scenes in it. I was like, this is weird. And then he was in a movie called Eastern Promises, which was about like the Russian mob, the Bratva or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was a fight scene in a shower with a bunch of naked dudes. And I was like, didn't expect that. But like, I'm just watching it, and all of a sudden this happens. I'm like, okay. But
So
I mean, this is a much different role than those.
I felt that with this latest episode of Last of Us.
I know.
Here's this dude. Yep, he's just completely naked and dang-a-lang hanging out and everything. It's just like, okay, you're torturing him apparently. Anyway, but that's essentially the gist of the movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I believe Myra has something to say.
Well, first of all, you'd never catch me in that cave ever. Second of all, if I had to leave the way that if I got stuck in there like that, put me under, because there ain't no way.
Call an anesthesiologist, because I'm not getting out of here any other way.
Right.
Dude, I went caving one time when I was a teenager, because like Southern Indiana is known for having some caves and stuff. Kentucky, right there by Cincinnati and shit. It wasn't mammoth or anything. It was actually like a smaller deal, and we were in a tunnel that was barely as wide as my shoulders. We were army crawling. One person's head was to the other person's feet, whatever. And it was 200 yards long. And they thought this was a good idea. And I almost had a panic attack. I wasn't claustrophobic before that. And I almost had a panic attack. And I've been pretty much claustrophobic to a certain degree ever since.
Right.
Like you ain't getting me to do that shit. One kid in our group, we were walking on these boards, and there were these like pools of water that were about as big around as a trash can. And these boards like went around between them and over them and shit. He slipped off the board, one leg, and went into that water, and then fell in. And they said that the bottom was probably like hundreds of feet down. And I'm just like, I'm out. Like, this is not for me. Like, this whole caving thing. Like, I don't know how people do it. Mm-mm.
Was it a one-way thing, or did you have to travel back out?
No, what it was we had to crawl through this tunnel.
Yeah.
Like, there was this big open place where you went in and everything. That's where we slept. But then there was this tour.
Slept?
Yeah, we slept in there for the night. There was this tour, and it took you all through the caves and then back to this tunnel in the very back. And then when you got out the tunnel, there was like an underground river that we got on boats, and then they boated us back towards the front where we went in.
Cool, but not the...
And I was just like, caves are not for me, bro. Nope. Done. I haven't been in a cave since, probably. I don't think I have.
Yeah, my brother does. He likes caving, but I don't know how much he does it anymore. But I know a long time ago he was big into caving, and I'm just thinking like, yeah, I don't know. He was telling me about the stuff like you did. You know, oh yeah, you had to squeeze, you had to suck in, and do all this. It's like, yeah, no.
What if you do that and you still can't get through?
Yeah,
like
that's it.
I'm like, fuck that. Or what if I squeeze through and then on the way back out, I can't squeeze back through? Like, I ain't taking that chance.
Right. There's no way. I mean, the fact that the kids in the movie got to where they got, I'm like thinking like, goodness, like
maybe they kept being pushed that way.
Well, no, they walked in to explore. They wanted to explore this cave and
go to that beach, but the beach was like nowhere near where they were. They went much further.
Yeah, I don't know. It was crazy.
I mean, like, this movie evokes emotions. If you're not at least anxious throughout this movie, then like you might be a sociopath. Because it's, for me, it was like real, like, oh my God, like, yeah, this is some crazy shit.
Yeah, you're like partially panicking.
Like, I don't even understand how these guys like can stand to dive and go back there with zero visibility.
Yeah.
The smell.
Yeah.
The only oxygen you get, it stinks.
Like, I'm just like, this blows my mind that divers could do this, find them, go in and out as many times as they did to take them supplies and shit. Like, because this wasn't a week, people.
It was like 3, right? 2, 3.
I thought it was more than that.
I don't know. I mean, it was 11, 14, 15, 16 days, something. It was about 2 weeks.
Yeah. Was it?
Yeah,
I thought it was like
something like that.
I thought it was like a month or so. God, but even still,
I remember it being a long time. But
you can, like, imagine living in a cave, having to use the bathroom, like having people like bring food to you. Like, God, not where I would want to be.
Thinking about it.
Nope. Somebody else can have that.
Right.
Mom says 19 days.
Oh, man.
Yeah. On 19 days. Yeah, something. I want to say it was something like that, but I don't quite remember.
Well, then you have like that mining thing, and was it in South America? Yeah. And those guys were trapped underground for God knows how long. I'm just like, I don't want to do anything underground.
Right. I mean, that's just, my luck. You go and then you get trapped or something. It's just, no, I don't want to take that chance.
Yeah.
I'll pass.
No way. Growing up in my hometown, we had these weird homeschooled kids, and they're not weird because they were homeschooled. They were just weird and homeschooled, but they were really intelligent, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So they had this like tree house in one corner of their yard, And then at the bottom of the treehouse, they had dug a tunnel that you could crawl down into. And then they had created rooms underground, kind of like what you would imagine like in Vietnam and stuff.
Yeah.
And you had to like crawl in this little hole and go down there. And then you could go down there and like sit and hang out. And like we went in there one time. I was like, this is the dumbest thing ever. Like, I'm just going to sit in a dirt room that has nothing in it, no furniture. I can't see anything. What are we doing with our lives? And everybody in the neighborhood thought it was the coolest thing ever. I'm just like, nah, I'll go play with my Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, exactly. Heck yeah.
The Tragoguses were their name. Hopefully they're watching. You guys were weird as hell.
Send it to them. Send this recording to them later.
I have to track them down.
Oh, you could do that. That's no problem for you.
Oh no, I'm basically a private detective at this point.
Oh yeah. Let's see. All right. So, how are we rating this? Kumaira, start us off.
Oh, on the spot.
4.5.
Okay. 4.5. Derry, what about you?
I'm between a 4 and a 4.5.
Okay.
For a streaming movie, this is one of the best like made for streaming movies I've ever seen.
Hey, Bob,
in my opinion.
You want to weigh in on this on 13 Lives?
I'm gonna go with a 4. I'm gonna settle on a 4.
All right.
But it's really good for an Amazon movie that was never got a major theatrical release.
Yeah. Yeah.
The transformative part was the anesthesia.
I mean, that's the part that blew my mind.
I couldn't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to euthanize all of them.
That's what I had said.
They looked at each other.
That's what I thought when they first were talking. I'm like, wait a minute.
Anyway.
Yeah, I didn't catch the part that, oh yeah, I'm an anesthesiologist. It's just like, wait. I asked Kumaira, I was like, are they planning on euthanizing them? Like,
yeah, but why wouldn't you just put rat poison in their food or something?
Right.
Like,
I'm thinking there's much easier ways to kill people.
I figured they would. Yeah, we're gonna swim in there, or we're just gonna let you die. Like, just pack up all our shit and go home. And sorry, we're not gonna do anything for you. I mean, why would you take equipment back in there and drugs and euthanize them when you can just leave?
Right.
So they can have their bodies.
Well, yeah.
Well, they can get them when the water goes down.
Yeah, and what kind of a mess that would be. Goopy,
oh, well.
All soggy rolling,
and smelly.
But yeah. And then it's just
we need to get a vet in here. We gotta get a vet in here. We gotta euthanize them.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. They're gonna carry them out like packages. Because I mean, they were talking about that, like you only got looks and stuff.
Packages.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, all right. It was when they said packages, it's like, oh, okay, I get it now.
It's so crazy because anesthesia works differently on everybody, like dosages, all that shit. And
they ran into that.
Yeah, it's just like you have to overcome all those barriers and you lose nobody.
Yeah. The fact that they lost nobody was insane.
Yeah. There's one person that died, but it was one of the National Guard.
Navy SEALs.
Navy SEAL, yeah. Well, they're Navy SEALs, not our Navy SEALs.
They're not our Navy SEAls.
Yeah. Like they're probably like our Coast Guard.
Oh, you're probably right.
Oh yeah, she says after 8 months of typhoon weather, there would be nothing left to bring out. Yep, that's definitely true.
See, here's a job, somebody in a skull. You better hope they match up.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I don't know. I agree with you that it was definitely informative and very, just very, very I guess it's exciting. I'll rate it a 4 as well. But yeah, I mean, just the fact the movie alone, like, I don't know, it was really good, really well done, I thought. But yeah,
I was wondering why it was raining so much. It wouldn't let
God, it's
up.
been like last weekend at my house, or like for the last week. It's been a
Really?
monsoon.
mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll go down in a cave.
Yeah, there you
No.
go. I doubt that'll ever happen.
Podcast with
Yeah,
Ian.
you couldn't pay me to go in a freaking cave. Well, you probably could, but it'd have to be
A lot,
what?
and you have to be guaranteed to get out.
How about the mansion?
Yeah, 7
cave?
figures at least.
Yeah. What was
How
that?
about a mansion in a cave? Like, it has enough room for you. That I would do.
Well, I mean, but that kind of
Go
defeats the
cave.
purpose.
Yeah.
So, but that's what you can pay me to do that.
Thought-provoking and fear-inducing. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I mean,
I just can't believe they pulled the shit off in real life.
I know.
Like,
And
Like,
not to tell the parents and not to have them sign consent forms.
yeah.
Yeah, she's over there saying like, "Oh, I would at least have him sign consent forms." And I'm just like, "What consent form?"
Yeah.
iPad.
Oh, what are they going to do? Say no?
Yeah, it's like we're trying to rescue your
Okay.
kid.
We're only taking out
Just
we're
leave
only
him in
taking
there.
out 5 of the kids because we couldn't get consent forms for everybody else. So they gotta stay behind and die.
Yep. Sorry, your parents wouldn't sign consent for us
No, they
to
would
bring
eat
you
them
out of the cave.
first.
We're just gonna euthanize you. Oh
No
God.
lawsuits, okay?
Oh
yeah.
man.
So okay, my mom says something here that is interesting. She said 13 Lives was really good. At least they partly spoke English. It was, and she said, I was going to tell you to stop recommending movies with subtitles. If I want to read a book, I'll buy a book. And I get
Man,
that.
we're just not on the same level with subtitles. I'm sorry.
And so that's the thing. I actually discovered belatedly, I think it was last night. Thursday, what day is it? Friday. So yeah, last night I discovered on the Netflix thing. I was like, hey, there's a way to
I can't believe you just
dub
figured this out.
the audio in English. This is like, that's cool. And so I was like, so I asked I asked Ghost Pepper. I was like, okay, well, are you okay with that, or are you a purist that wants to see the original translation and subtitle and stuff? He's like, I don't want to read my movie. It's just like, all right, yep,
Wow.
that's what it is. So I got to watch it again, the Uprising again in English. So that was interesting as well. Oh no, Derry left the chat.
The room.
Yeah, well, it's still the same thing. But let's see. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. Is he coming back? Because I know he has something to say about Uprising.
Yeah, that was his choice.
There we go. There we go.
I put a reminder. I put a reminder under my name for me.
Stop randomly clicking stuff.
I was clicking around like the outside of the video and accidentally hit leave studio.
It asked you if you want to leave the studio. Are you?
It didn't. It just kicked me out.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah. Or at least I think that's what I hit. It took me to another StreamYard page, but yeah. So maybe it wasn't leave studio, maybe having issues or something. I don't know. But I was just randomly clicking shit because I do that.
Yeah, well, stop. We want to talk about Uprising.
Oh yeah, I was just jumping out. I'm out. No Uprising
I'm not going to
commentary.
explain this. I'm just out. That's how much you didn't want to
I
explain
euthanized myself from the conversation.
You didn't sign the
consent form.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Sorry guys, can't talk about it. Mom didn't sign the consent form. Oh man.
But yeah. So like I said, 4. We all rated a 4. Or did you say 4.5, Pumara?
I said 4.5.
Okay, 4.5, 4.
Because I found my new way out of the cave if I ever get stuck.
Right. You have an idea. It's like, okay, if I ever get stuck, you're gonna have to euthanize me. I mean. You're gonna have to anesthesiologist me out of here.
Yeah, go call that guy from Britain.
Was he from Britain? Yeah. I don't remember where he was from, but yeah. Just don't go in a cave ever. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I fall.
If you fall in a cave?
Fall into a cave?
Like, yeah. Sinkhole, something.
Oh, see, now we're talking sinkholes, and that's a completely different story. Although that was also weird that that mountain had a bunch of sinkholes that they drained. Like, what on earth? That was outrageous. But
and without them doing that, they wouldn't have even had that chance. Like, there would have been no way.
Yeah, they had to ruin an entire village's crop of rice. Yeah, and just ruin it. It's just like, wow. That is insane.
So, to be honest, changing gears a little bit here, I don't know if we can even give a good summation or description of Uprising.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't think I could coherently put together an outline of the movie for people, because there were times where I was lost.
Yeah.
Right.
We were too.
We were too.
And
I'm sitting there thinking.
And then you have to read and pay attention to the pictures as it's jumping around. It's like,
it was
in
outrageous.
The future?
Like I said, so
flashback?
I watched it in English for the first time last night, and I still don't think I can accurately give a correct portrayal of what exactly outline of what happened. So basically, it's these two friends that grow up, and they have to. But here's the other thing: they're two friends. However, one is clearly a slave to another, and he has to get whipped.
He's the whipping boy.
Yeah, he's the whipping boy. And then this one, the noble kid, is has to be trained and go to some military academy and have high marks and all that stuff. And so, but this other kid, the slave one, is like practically a military genius. He sees things, openings and stuff that he, normal people wouldn't see.
He sees a guy fight one time and then literally adopts his entire fighting style. Like, okay.
Well,
I call bullshit.
I thought his father trained him before
he was a
slave.
Well, see,
he even tells the guy, is it the Japanese, the samurai? Like,
yeah,
he's like recognizes his fighting style, and he's like, "Oh, I saw him fight once."
Yeah, exactly. So he said he stabbed this person in the guts, and everything fell out of him, and then he made it seem like that was more than just the intestines falling out of him. He made it seem like it was his experiences, his style, everything fell out onto him. And so then ever since, he'd been able to fight this way. Use this, short sword weapon, whatever. It's just like, what? It's outrageous. But yeah, anyway. So I guess again, I'm lost at a loss to explain this thing.
to like set the stage. So
Yeah.
I thought this movie was more because I don't know all the dynasty. This was Joseon dynasty or something.
Yeah.
I thought it was a feudal Japan movie. It's actually based in Korea. In Japan. I couldn't tell if they were like doing a large scale invasion or were they just like raiding. I have no idea because the movie doesn't give you any backstory.
Well, outside of the enormous boats that the fleet of enormous boats that came to Korea. So I imagine they were there to pillage, take over, and
I mean, it could be like similar to a Viking raid, or it could be full scale invasion. But the movie's about peasants uprising against
their masters,
like their nobles. But the problem is that really never comes to fruition. It like sounds like it's going to be this large scale uprising. You see very little of the uprising. Then it jumps 7 years in the future, and this slave and this other guy, well, his friend, the noble kid, like when they're adults, they bring his slave friend who keeps running away back. And then he basically tells that guy that he's going to burn his whole family alive, like talking shit. And then the peasants actually start an uprising, set the whole place on fire. The dude's whole family dies. So then he thinks his slave friend did it all, which feels like this relationship should be the main conflict of the movie.
Right.
But then there's this whole 7-year jump, and the slave friend's like this blue-robed mythical figure.
Yeah.
He's the greatest swordsman ever because he saw a dude one time. You know, like, I'm sorry. And I see the comment from the person out there, if you want to put it up, the last comment. Like, when I was younger, I did judo. But if I don't have serious training in a martial art, like, just because I know one doesn't mean I can learn another really fast. I mean, there's things that are very similar.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to sword fighting, I don't think that's going to happen at all. Like, different styles, like, it just, you're not going to see one move.
Yeah.
Or I guess if this guy's guts fall out and all of a sudden his soul goes up your tailpipe and like takes over, and you're this, like, this guy being a master swordsman made no sense.
Yeah.
The movie was about an uprising, but it really kind of wasn't.
You really only got to see that like maybe once or twice in the whole movie, where they laid out the weapons and they're like, everyone grab one. We're going to beat the crap out of these people. It's like, okay.
Hose, rakes,
yeah.
Yeah. And then I was expecting the movie to come down to a showdown between this friend and the slave, which they do have a showdown, but it's not at the end of the movie, because there's a first showdown between them.
Yeah.
And then later, so the slave has also fought this samurai a couple times.
Yeah.
And they're like evenly matched, and they have like a death vendetta on each other. And so at the end, they throw that on top of the slave and the friend fighting. So then you got this third guy. So then you have this weird 3-way fight at the end in fog.
Yeah.
And I'm literally just sitting there like, this is a mess.
Yeah. Like, wait, who am I rooting for? He took off his robe and burnt it in the last little chapter, because the movie's divided by chapters or so, whatever it is. It's like he took off his robe and burned it up, and that was like, come on, like, that was the only way to distinguish that I was using to
for
distinguish
me.
these people.
Mhm.
It's like,
Well, we were even talking about it. The nobleman wears this, what to me looks kind of like a pilgrim hat
yeah,
with like a bead thing that goes around it. And for the first, I don't know, half of the movie, I couldn't even tell what character we were watching because they dressed very similar. They had very similar facial hair.
mm-hmm.
Didn't they all look the same?
It just
about.
Well, I mean, the thing is we're not exposed to Asian people all the time. So it's a psychological fact that your brain doesn't develop the ability to distinguish very minute characteristics unless you're immersed in that culture every day.
Yeah.
So literally I was getting people confused, and then there's the flashbacks and the time jumps.
Right.
Yep.
And I'm still getting everybody confused.
Yep.
And it just, I mean, I get that this movie was like released in Korea originally, like it wasn't a made for the United States movie, because it released there like a year or two before it came out on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, what the hell?
They had to have been just as lost as we are.
I don't know. I disagree. I'm sure
I think they tried real hard and just it sucked. Like I think they tried to subvert structures of movies that are tried and true and really work because they wanted to come up with something unique, and it just fell flat. It didn't work. And I just spent most of the movie confused.
Yeah. I was right there with you. But I mean, like, so I will say on a positive note, I did find a lot of the imagery and like the sword fighting and stuff like that. I found that very interesting and beautifully shot, especially and we knock it here a little bit, but or poke fun at it because they have this 3-way duel in fog, but it was beautifully shot.
Oh yeah, cinematography was not the problem.
Right.
With this movie.
And I mean, and they even, had someone jumping off a cliff and slicing and all this stuff. It was incredibly well thought out in that aspect, as far as the characters and the things that general audience. I think it missed the mark on.
I mean, some of the fighting was like John Wickish in the sense that he could take on, basically like 20, 30 people at one time. So it's not, very realistic sword fighting. It's not like something like The Last Samurai where you're not sitting there just running through 25 people with a sword. Like it's about as far from Last Samurai as you can get, in my opinion. But yeah, there were positive points, but God, I was just like, I was almost laughing to myself with how bad the movie was put together. And then I would have expected at the beginning some kind of, hey, this is where we're at. Here's what's going on. Like almost like a Star Wars scroll or something.
Yeah.
Got none of that information.
Nope.
They tell you who the guy is getting his head chopped off.
Yeah.
But there really wasn't much beyond that I picked up on. And then it just throws you right into a story that
it wasn't clearly thought out, I don't think.
Yeah.
But
I
know I was confused sitting there, and when I was watching with Ghost Pepper last night, he was confused, and he was like, I know this is going to sound racist, but I can't tell a damn lick of sense of who's who. It's just like, yeah, well, you're not wrong.
The problem is when you have like costumes that all look the same, similar facial hair, like it just makes it really hard.
It was like, I don't know, 30 of them dudes out there with them pilgrim hats that you took off and you could like sort of see partway through the pilgrim hat. And then
there was no hairstyles to distinguish because they had that
a bandana around
keeping
their hair up all like, oh geez.
Yeah, it just, and they didn't wear like unique robes. It was all like those crazy, like just
uniform
plain robes. Yeah, it's just like
the only one that had a uniform was the blue robed god that they kept fearing and talking about, and that was the slave to the young master, as they called him, that sort of became like this military role, and that was literally the only way to distinguish
who's
who is who.
Here's another thing that pissed me off. That guy sucked so bad he couldn't pass the military test.
You had a slave.
But yet when his wife and child die, he all of a sudden becomes a master effing swordsman.
Yeah.
Like it was just his lack of anger was what was keeping him out. And I'm just like, come on, that's a little far-fetched, because the slave just owned this guy every time they practiced against each other.
Right.
Like that guy, he sucked. Like he couldn't even pass the military test. There were hundreds of other people passing it ahead of him. And all of a sudden now he's a master swords, like just
to the point where the two of them were like equally matched. And they came and they had sort of like a standoff. It's like, okay, well, based on the track record, I'm pretty sure this guy is gonna win.
Right.
Easily win.
Right.
But then at the end, it became a threesome.
Right.
I was just like, whatever. I'm trying to remember what, there was a scene with the guns that pissed me off too, but I can't remember what it is now.
Oh, well, the fact that the Japanese had them and the Koreans didn't.
There was a scene where something happened with a gun and I didn't feel like, I thought it was kind of stupid, but I'm trying to remember what it is now. I remember watching it and being like, oh, I need to remember that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I was not a fan.
I liked the chick that had the flail thing.
Yeah.
That was cool. The butcher knife guy was awesome. And the little clown person that threw rocks that had like a slingshot thing.
Dude, those sling? Were like a sling, in my opinion, I still don't understand how people can be accurate with it. Like, there's people like in real life that can be like super accurate with it. And that weapon has always boggled my mind, how you could be like use it the way some people can. Like, it just makes no sense to me.
Guess we'll have to talk to David.
Yeah.
Right. Well, oh boy, that'll be a while before. Well, hopefully, maybe, who knows?
But you never know. They might recreate him like the dire wolf.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of his DNA.
Jeez, I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, that part feels like Jurassic Park. Like, okay, this is probably a species that shouldn't be here if they died out at one
Next
point.
thing we know, they're going to be like, oh, we found a mosquito from the Mesozoic era.
Right.
Be like, I'm out.
They did already.
They did with the woolly mammoth, and they impregnated the big ass elephant, the biggest elephant on the planet, which is what, an Indian elephant or? Anyway,
when was this?
It's an oliphant. Fucking stupid name from Lord of the Rings. An oliphant. I hate that scene.
They did that. They impregnated I'm sure Eric would know if Zombie was here. He would be like, oh, it's this, and it's like, yes, thank you.
Yeah, he's an animal pregnancy specialist.
Well, he's definitely an animal specialist for sure.
Specializes in animal pregnancies.
Well, you never know.
And a part-time euthanizer of soccer players.
Yeah.
Why do you think he's not here tonight?
he's off euthanizing soccer players.
He's like, I got a cave in Kentucky I gotta be in. A team of 9 and unders is in there.
Oh yeah, you never know. But
God.
so let's rate this movie. There, you kick it off.
For me, it's got to be a 2.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't even think I could say mixed feelings off the few little bright spots.
I'd say 2.
Yeah. See, it's the flawed but worthy, moderately insightful. I don't know. I just can't get to that. So it's a 2 for me. I mean, even with there were things that I did like about it that I thought were cool. But it's mainly just a cheap gimmick at the end of the day, because it was the blood and guts and gore that was like, that made you like literally surprised, like, oh wow, that was insane that they just did that with these random cartoon, and whatever characters, fictional characters. That's the word I was looking for. Just like, that's wild. But then you're like, oh well, if you discount this and discount that, it's one thing after another that just brings it down to a 2. So yeah, that's what I would say. But movies for next week. Kumara, are you actually here? Okay, yep. Movies for next week. What do you think? We were talking earlier. We were thinking Novocaine on Paramount Plus.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the other one?
Havoc on Netflix.
Any objections?
Havoc's been like in production for I think like 4 years. It like got caught in production hell, and then I don't know. I think it was shot a couple years ago, and it's just now to the point where they could put it out. I read something about it, so I'll be interested to comment on with you guys on what you think of the movie, and then Novocaine.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to tell you guys, Mobland.
Yeah.
Literally just keeps getting better and better.
All right.
Yeah, like, it's definitely on my list.
Dude, move it up your list, because the last 2 episodes have ended on massive cliffhangers. And the last 3 episodes are like, oh shit, at the end of the episode. Like, I am literally fiending for the next episode. I mean, it's one of the best shows of the past 12 months, in my opinion.
Okay, that's good. I'll be interested to see that, because we're all caught up on
our regular shows.
So we'll definitely be starting that this week. We were watching Dark Winds. I've been wanting to watch that, but yeah, we'll watch this first. Hopefully we'll have started it and we'll be in the middle of it next week.
It's real good.
All right, so we'll do that. And all right, so that's it for today's episode. Don't forget our sponsors brought to you. We would not be here if it weren't for our sponsors, Madness Network, Super 7, and Bulk Dominoes. So yeah, go check them out. And yeah, until next time, I'll say Thunder Nerds Ho. What do you guys have to say?
If you get trapped in a cave, make sure you get euthanized.
All right, Thunder Nerds Ho.
YouTube and feel the vibe. Every show you crave right here live. Heroes and villains clash in the night. Madness Comic Network sets it right. Scroll through the list, find what you need. Epic battles and fast-paced speed. From capes to cosmic space delight. Tune in and watch your favorites ignite. On Facebook, share the thrill so grand. On X, the buzz across the land. Madness Comic Network all around. In every episode, joy is found. Uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic brightens days. New uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun,